Oh boy, is that a brand new auto rifle that MTAST is using? I wonder if it's good. I wonder if it's got some amazing rolls and will be a top tier weapon in PvP and PvE. Well, guess what? It's a piece of crap! No, I don't know what to say about, I do know what to say about this thing, I just don't like saying it. Listen, someone's gonna post a clip getting a 7th column here, okay? Someone's gonna post a clip with this thing and say, but look at me, I'm able to kill everyone! But I can't get behind this weapon, okay? I'm gonna roast it a little bit in this video, but I'm gonna show you the potential. Don't shard this thing immediately because maybe in the future it's godly, but we need to have a little chat about the false promise because I feel cheated. Hey everyone, MTAST here, and today we're going to be looking at the false promise high impact auto rifle available in this season. I want to talk about the pros, I want to talk about the cons, I want to show some rolls, but I want to discuss this weapon. Now, I think it has some major potential in PvE if you're looking for an auto rifle with some interesting rolls, and even in PvP, there are some awesome rolls. I just think that the archetype as a whole is pretty weak. There's nothing wrong with this gun. There's just not a lot of room for it in the sandbox when there is just obviously better weapons. Now, before I get into all this, I just wanted to say very quickly, thank you. The viewership for the past few videos, the viewership for this season as a whole has been incredible, rivaling the Division 2, Destiny 2 launch, and even Forsaken, my best months ever. The fact that you guys are jumping on my content, watching it, liking it, sharing it, commenting, it means a lot to me, and the fact that I get to do this as a job is a dream. Thank you so much for supporting me, and I truly feel blessed. Thank you. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep grinding. I've seen a lot of positivity. I just wanted to say thanks. Now let's get into it. So as I said before, the false promises. It's got good stuff. It's got so much good. It just doesn't shine because of the archetype. You can get cool healing builds with Unrelenting. You can get Killing Wind to up the range even further from the crazy range it already has. You can have more strafing, some handling. You can get damage perks and reload perks. Look at this bad boy. We've got ricochet rounds, fluted barrel, range masterwork. This thing's a laser beam. But in PvP, it really struggles, which I'll show you in the footage in a little bit. I think that if you practice with it, you can definitely do decent, but there are just better weapons that are easier to use and more effective in more situations. As a PvP weapon, I can't recommend this. Okay, I'm just gonna come out and say it. If you want to use an auto rifle and you want to heal, use the Suros regime. Okay, you want something that can map people across the map, try a hard light. There's multiple Suros, hard light, the summoner. There's many different auto rifles out there that I'm telling you will do better. These 360s ain't it. But I want to show you the perks. Okay, just chill out for a second. Let me show you the perks because there's a couple interesting combos, and if they ever buff this thing, you might want to hold on to it. Because high impact pulse rifles, they were trash. They were some of the worst guns in the game, and now they're some of the best. They are literally top tier. So I would still, hold on to some good rolls. Make sure you take a peek at some of the things that I say, because this could be the meta 6 months from now, 9 months from now. And I always recommend that having a copy or two of a good roll and a weapon is great because you never know what Bungie has up their sleeve. Okay, so the reason I wanted to show this off is there's a couple interesting combos and things that I definitely like here. And honestly, if it was just on a better weapon, it would probably be incredible. We've got Killing Wind, which is always good. This is going to be one of the best perks in the game, especially in PvP. In PvE, not so much, but Killing Wind is awesome. We've also got Dynamic Sway Reduction, which is very valuable and got a buff last season. So even just getting one of these, you're probably going to have a pretty damn good weapon. And then you have choices like Swashbuckler if you like to get up close and personal. You can stack damage with this, and I think that this is a good perk. You can also get some healing in PvE. Maybe you're doing a solo dungeon and need some extra healing. This could be really good and reliable. You've also got this bad boy though, and this is the one I would recommend overall for PvP if you're looking for consistency. I am a big fan of Eye of the Storm. I think it's one of the best perks in the game, and any gun that has it, I think, has a little bit of value because it can outperform similar guns that don't. By pairing something like Eye of the Storm and Dynamic Sway Reduction, you've got a laser. By pairing Eye of the Storm and a Killing Wind, you are strafing, good handling, aiming down sights quickly, and a laser. It's great. You know, you mix both. I think that has a lot of potential, and because it has stuff like Eye of the Storm and Killing Wind, that's one of the reasons I'd say hold on to it. But, I just don't know. I just don't know if I can say, hey, you should grind this thing, you should use it all the time. In PvE, it does have access to something like Rampage, it's got Swashbuckler, Unrelenting, as I said, and maybe you want to mess around with this thing. It reloads your weapons, so you could use something like the Xenophage and then swap to your primary. There's potential here as well, but even in PvE, I don't think it's going to shine. So let me show you some PvP stuff and why I'm not the biggest fan of this weapon. There's a couple key things I want to discuss. Number one is the zoom and the scope. It's not too bad. It's actually pretty damn low zoom, which is a good thing. But for some reason, when they do get close, I found a lot of times, especially if they were jumping, I felt a little bit handcuffed by the scope. It's a weird thing. I don't know why. But close range, especially if they're jumping in the air, it was getting frustrating. The other thing is if there's any sort of grenade, or if people have been shooting the Wither Horde and there's any particle effects, I found it even harder to track people using this weapon. Between the little frosting around the scope, as well as any particle effects, it gets really cluttered, in my opinion. And there's a couple times where I had someone dead to rights and I lost them. And I thought that was a weird thing, but that might just be me. Or maybe, #ad, I needed, #ad, mango splash, #ad. So the optimal time to kill in this thing doesn't feel amazing, but the other thing too is I found that I was getting flinched quite a bit. Now, on a slow-firing auto rifle like this, you need to land your headshots. But if someone is hitting you with a fast-firing pulse or a fast-firing auto, I was losing duels because they would kick my gun, I would miss a bullet, and it would absolutely destroy my time to kill. And that was something I didn't expect. Normally with auto rifles, they're pretty forgiving because of the nature of being able to shoot a bunch of bullets down range. But this one, it just felt like I was in the middle of a duel, I felt like I was doing great, and then it would just knock my gun, I would miss a bullet, and I'd end up losing. There's also the fact that when you're trying to kill people, if there's a lot of cover, such as a map like this, there were so many times people would get away. They would just sprint away, they'd get behind cover, they would run across a doorway, and I had a really hard time finishing my kills a lot of the time. Now, you can see, alright boys, this has some potential. If you're landing your shots, you're landing your crits, you can slay. But I question, would I have been able to just do it easier with a different weapon? With the flinch, you can kind of see it there, or it's like ghost bullets. I don't know what it is. Maybe my aim is bad. But it just always felt like I was struggling and trying really hard with this weapon to get very mediocre results. Now, I understand there's a bit of a learning curve when you use a new weapon, but I ended up using the Cold Denial the other day for the first time, and within a game or two I felt very comfortable. And I never really felt comfortable with this weapon. Or at least I never felt strong with this weapon. It took so much effort to do well that I was like, it's a piece of trash. I felt so uncomfortable in every game I played, even after an hour or two of testing it. I never felt like I was in control or I felt strong. I think that this archetype might be one of the worst overall in the game. If you look at hand cannons and their ability to peek, if you look at pulse rifles, if you look at multiple different auto rifles, there are just so many better weapons that using this, I feel, is a chore and not worth the effort. Now, I understand that this is Cold Denial footage, and this is not supposed to be the gun we're talking about, but I did feel comfortable with this gun after just a couple of games. I did feel dominant with this, it did feel good to duel, and I question, why would I ever tell you to hunt down something like the False Promises if even after a couple hours I couldn't feel good with it. I couldn't even come close to enjoying it or feeling strong with it because I just don't think it is. The sandbox does nothing for it. There's no favors here. I think that you're going to get punished long term, and I feel like it would be a mistake hyping it up in its current state. As I said before, there's some cool rolls. Make sure you hold on to a couple, but right now, hunt down other guns like the Cold Denial. Hell, you could use a blue auto rifle that I'm sure would be better. I'm sorry, but I just can't support this any longer. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon, my friends. Bye-bye.